my load. I got 7 women on my mind.
Alright, my shirt is matching this frickin' Yankee candle. This candle cost $30. Yankee Candle has America by the book. But seriously, I bought this candle for $20 because it was buy one, get the other one half off or something like that. Buy two for $40. So normally it would be $29.99 for $30 for this candle. Is it worth it? I don't know. Like, take this phone for consideration. This is the iPhone 8S. I mean, this is kind of old. I know that I'm lacking. I need a new phone. That's a neck right there. But seriously, this phone is like $1,000. Like, the new iPhone's like $1,000. I think they probably cost like $5 to make in a Chinese sweatshop. They have these Chinese kids slaving in, and this video is probably gonna get banned for this. I'm getting in trouble on TikTok for already talking about this stuff. Check out my podcast. You know I'm talking about that real stuff because they're banning me on TikTok. But I'm not trying to get banned, but I'm sorry. But seriously, I mean, this phone, like, this is not worth $1,000. Like, yeah, would I pay $1,000? Possibly, if I needed to. I might join Team Android, but I don't know. But seriously, this phone it's not really worth $1,000. Like, it's just like these sneakers, absolutely beautiful. Don't get me wrong. Like, these are pretty fire, pretty badass. $180. I got them on sale, so don't even think that. But $180. They cost like 25 cents to make, honestly. They really, like, look at, this really is like, it's like I would say no more than $1. No more than $1 in pure materials. But they charge us $128. Like, is that worth it? Is that the value of this? I don't know. Beautiful day in the neighborhood, as they would say, as that creepy guy, right? That creepy guy as Tom Hanks. It's Friday right now, and I got a smoothie from Smoothie King for $5, because normally the 32 ounce cost $10, almost $10. Is it worth $10? I just don't know if any fast food restaurant kind of drink is worth $10. I know they try to say Smoothie King's healthy and it doesn't use any sugars or preservatives or any, dairy or any additives, blah, 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 blah. I highly doubt that. It tastes mad good. It's highly processed, probably. It's a big corporation. There's no way they're getting fresh fruit and vegetables to all these corporations and providing really quality food and smoothies. I just highly doubt that. And then they cost like $10. So they taste good. They're probably not as healthy as they say, which means they're lying and it's bad business. And it's mad expensive. Is a freaking 32 ounce smoothie worth $10? And that's why I get it on $5 Friday. What do you think? Owning a home or renting a home? A lot of people got a lot of different opinions. There's a lot of different ways to look at it. Owning a home, you got to deal with all the issues. Renting a home, the owner deals with all the issues. A community like this, at least you kind of have like a community. But at the same time, I guess you could argue that, I don't know, you got a bunch of people that maybe don't own their homes. And that's usually a big indication of how a community runs and how good a community is, and school districts and stuff like that is how many people actually own their homes. Interesting little statistic, but it more has to do with socioeconomic class in that community. If you can own a home, that means you can probably provide for your family and other things like that. But what do you think? Renting a home or owning a home? A lot of people swear by just renting for the rest of your life, not dealing with any of those issues, just saving your money, not having to worry about, I guess, a mortgage, but you really got to just pay rent. But in that aspect, you don't really, certain places, I guess, you don't really have to buy maybe a washer, a dryer, a refrigerator, lights, all those type of utility bills, gas, electric, all those things. Sometimes you might have to pay for them depending where you live or depending the contract, but if you're renting, you might not have to pay for any of that. Hey, some people need that security though, of I own my home, it's in my name, if anything happens, it's mine. And also, if anything happens, it's not my home. I can get kicked out of it if I
miss a monthly rent or whatever it is, I don't own my home. So it's an interesting argument. And quite frankly, most people that own their homes don't own their homes. They just have a mortgage on their homes, and the bank basically owns their home. No one's gonna admit to that, especially American homeowners. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? But renting or owning, which one's more worth it? Which one's more valuable? Is a $300,000 home really worth that? Or is a $100,000 home? I mean, you get what you pay for. Sometimes you can find a really nice house in a small little town with not a lot of jobs and not a lot of income, but you can find a big, nice house for a pretty cheap price. But dare I say again, not a lot of jobs, not a lot of income. It's gonna be hard to pay for that house. Even if it is cheap, you might not still make that much money. So it's really interesting. You know, the world is it's very gray, right? People try to make it black and white. The news, the media, social media, the internet, everything's black and white. But it's not. Like, life is gray. But these trees right here, these trees are red and orange. Can't beat that.
Junior Wallace told me once, and she's a friend of mine. Take it easy.
A Range Rover. What a great car to discuss value. Because that car, that's not a Land Rover, that's a Range Rover. The Land Rover is just around $45,000 to $50,000, just depending which one you get, which package. Fully loaded, it could probably be up to $70,000. But the Range Rover starts at like $60,000, $70,000 and can get up to well over $100,000 for a freaking Range Rover. And word on the street, not that I would know, but apparently Range Rovers suck. I heard they're a nice car if you can get it started. There's a lot of electrical problems with Range Rovers and British cars. But yeah, like there's a lot of bad notion about Range Rovers. Like, don't buy a Range Rover, it's not worth it. It's a nice car, it's a nice looking, it looks cool. The blacked out Range Rover Sport is dope, but it drives like shit. Well, maybe not drives like shit, but it performs like shit. If your car can't work and doesn't turn on when you need it, it's not a good car. It doesn't matter how good it looks or how well it drives when it does turn on, right? If it's not turning on and not really working. Like, again, I don't have a Range Rover, I've never driven one, but there's a lot of rumors out there that Range Rovers are like known for being bad, unreliable cars. So it's like, why would you even buy it? Like, why would you buy it at that point? Like, if you know Mercedes-Benz makes and produces a better vehicle, or Cadillac produces a more reliable vehicle, why would you buy a Range Rover? That really, those kind of questions really ponder me, right? It's like, the word on the street is Range Rovers suck, and you have an $80,000 Range Rover. It's like, explain. And if you got millions of bucks, hey, get an $80,000 Range Rover that doesn't start every other weekend. Do what you gotta do. But if you can't afford it, that's ridiculous. If you can't afford it 3, 4, 5 times, a Range Rover, $80,000 Range Rover, and it doesn't even start when you need it. I know someone that has a Range Rover, a podcast guy. He says sometimes when he would start the car, the like electronics on the screen wouldn't work, and he called Range Rover like, yo, what's going on? And they're like, yeah, sometimes it just doesn't do that. Like, just gotta wait for it to turn on. And he said eventually it would turn on. That's a horrible vehicle for $70,000, $80,000, $90,000. The electronics doesn't even work. You can go buy a Honda Civic and it probably will give you no problems for 120,000 miles at least. I don't know. Those kind of things, like those over-the-top expensive things, that's when money is like, you don't really get what you pay for low-key. You're kind of just paying for the brand and for the show and like the clout of the car, the whole experience of driving a Range Rover and saying you drive a Range Rover. And dude, maintenance on those cars are ridiculous. It's like, what the heck? I don't know. Lukey V says, bad idea. Range Rover, bad idea. Super expensive car, very questionable idea. You got to question there. Those Mercedes, I like a Mercedes. Porsche, very nice. BMWs, my friends got Beamers. I'm sorry, I love you guys. It gives you guys some problems. The Beamers give you guys problems. I know you guys drive them fast and stuff. Understandable. But again, we got some issues with these cars. Let's buy a reliable car that's not 70 G's, 80 G's. Ridiculous. Alright guys, so what do you think? Drop in the comments. Are Yankee candles worth the money? Is anything worth the money? Smash that like button, subscribe for more, drop a comment, check out my podcast link in the description. Thank you. Deuces.